James?
Michael.
Hello, welcome to Mystery Ranch International. We're shooting from location. Our Southern Alliance compound, the Rad Bunker, X-Ray Zulu 322, call sign Camelot. Yes, sir. Please comment, rate, subscribe, turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on our next video. It'd be really cool to like it and subscribe, guys. We need support there. What are we going to talk about?
Now, as I understand, we're going to talk about stuff that the formation of Mystery Ranch International originally got formed to do. Now, we're kind of like if you had the A-Team, Rambo, Commando, Arnold Schwarzenegger meeting Leonard Nimoy of In Search of, and
Cobra from Cobra.
Cobra and Indiana Jones.
Two Sylvester Stallones.
Yeah, so if you had like all that, that's us, pretty much. That's what's going on here.
One of us.
Yeah, you know. Tonight, I think we'll be talking about voice to skull. This is a...
As we go making these videos, we're going to talk about different kinds of mind control techniques that the CIA has been using since when? Like, when did they first start some of the, like the MK Ultra stuff?
You can go back to Project Paperclip whenever we were bringing over Nazi scientists. Whenever the Soviets and us were converging on Berlin in 1945, they were grabbing up and gobbling up as many scientists as they could get their hands on, and we were doing the same. And some of those scientists actually came close to us, to the Huntsville Redstone Arsenal, von Braun, big rocket scientist, etc. But yeah, you can go all the way back to Project Paperclip, where with Nazi scientists, you can start they would do mind control experiments. The Nazis did.
Yeah, you guys look up Project Paperclip.
Yep.
Google Project Monarch. Google Project. Do Google MK Ultra.
Yes. And what we're basically talking about is early forms up to present days of MK Ultra.
We're just going to talk about one of them tonight.
This is like a remote. This is like a remote control. That's what the CIA wanted this for, was to be able to remotely control a human to do nefarious activities or whatever. Anyways.
So,
give us some history on
tonight we're going to talk about voice to skull.
B2K.
B2K, baby.
Yeah.
All right. So in 1961, this guy, the scientist Alan Frey, he was the first American to publish an article on microwave hearing effects, where they had people that were able to hear pulsed microwave radiation from a distance of 100 meters, which is equal to about 328 feet. When you think about microwaves, I'm going to jump off here, like World War II, the Japanese were trying to come up with a death ray using microwaves. I mean, you think about microwaves, how powerful they are. They heat up our food like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, microwaves are pretty neat.
It's radiation.
Pretty neat thing. So, voice to skull is the transmission of voice or any other subliminal sound directly into the hearing sense of the mind control victim. So, it was, you know, all kinds of, they used it for torture, sometimes done around the clock, you know, for torture. That's pretty scary to think about.
It is.
It's referred to sometimes as synthetic telepathy or artificial telepathy, which is just Ghost in the Shell creepy as it is, in my opinion. So they took pulses of microwave signals, and the scientists have figured out the right pulses that go with the pulses of the brain activity.
Mm-hmm.
So they know the signal. They send these signals at a certain frequency to which the brain is sensitive. Then the brain converts the train of microwave pulses back to an audible voice. So it's silent to everybody else unless you're being hit by these microwaves.
And as I understand, different people react to these different from other people. You know,
right.
somebody might be hypersensitive to it. Somebody might have to hit them a little bit hard with that radiation gun.
Right, but as far as I know, there's no real conscious defense against this. They consider it a form of hypnosis.
There's no firewall.
Right, without some kind of other machine to block this machine.
Or a tinfoil hat.
That's kind of where the tinfoil hat stuff comes from. You know, you see the spoofs on stuff where the nerdy scientist guy's wearing the tinfoil hat to not have his brain read or whatever.
The CIA got in real trouble.
Where this comes from.
They got in real trouble with this whenever one of these lead scientists was wearing a wire paper basket on his head, and his secretary was saying, basically, he's like, so they can't get to my head. And she didn't know at the time what that meant. And later on, he was either suicided or either jumped out of the window of his hotel that he was staying in at the time.
Because maybe the voices in his head told him to, right?
Or just to get rid of him. Anyways.
They have, I guess the machine that they shoot it out of is some kind of voice frequency modulator. So, see, they've studied these frequencies, and that's probably what we got from the German scientists. They did all these, who knows, you know, we learned things about hypothermia, we learned lots of things from the horrible things the Nazis did. And some of those Nazis got a pass because we took their knowledge and said, you give us that knowledge, as America, I mean, you know, you give us that knowledge, we're not going to get you in trouble. So we got a lot of things that we would have never been able to do if they hadn't have done the atrocities they did. So they have a voice.
That cake was not made with love.
No, sir. So apparently the output of these microwaves for distance and stuff is a steady tone near the high end of the human hearing range, which is around 1500 hertz.
Mm-hmm.
So and then I guess there's some sort of pulse that's taken up so that it's getting your attention is at that level. And then there's a hypno voice, I guess, of whoever you would call the handler or whatever you want to call them, from anywhere from 300 hertz to 4000 hertz. So there's some kind of louder pulse that's getting their attention, put them in the zombie zone, and then the voice comes in underneath that enough to give commands or whatever kind of, you know.
And this beat down they give you. This is a 70-year-old technology, you know.
Of course, they consider it a non-lethal weapon.
Yeah.
Even though it's a neuro-electromagnetic device which uses microwave transmissions of sound into the skull of a person or an animal. Of course, they had to say animal when they first coming up with all this stuff. By way of pulse-modulated microwave radiation. A silent sound device to everybody else unless you're being hit by these microwaves. And the sound, it's just, I don't know, it's pretty interesting. It's actually being used by some airports to keep birds and things. These pulses are sent out, and it keeps birds and things away from the runways for landing and taking off planes, so they don't get pulled through the engines and mess up an airplane.
Get a bird strike.
So this is real, and it is being used, and it's been used on humans.
Right before we were fixing to do this video, I ran across something that's called the Voice of God, and they were actually using this in an LRAD device in Iraq circa 2007, 2008. And their logic was to shoot it at the enemy and tell them, make them think that God is telling them to surrender. So that's just...
I can see that working against
Yeah.
People that have been brainwashed their whole lives to think they're
course.
killing everybody and themselves for.
Well, you would have to say some sects of Islam are a little bit more cultish. And,
Brainwashed
brain,
from youth.
Yeah. I guess we did some research into some phrases that
some of the phrases that were given over by
Yeah.
people that said they were affected by the voice to skull stuff, things they were told, things that just commands they were given to break people down.
there's a lot more support groups out there online than you would think for this kind of thing. Where there are people saying, "This is happening to me. How do I get it help?"
And you hear about people that have gone crazy, even in Hollywood or wherever. People have gone crazy and they're hearing voices. And some people it's legitimate, and
When you go
maybe
back to
there's
the-
a few that it's some things like this.
The 1950s book, The Manchurian Candidate, then later on made into the
Denzel was in that, I believe.
the 90s version, like the newer version, but like in the 60s, the original movie, it's all about the Catcher in the Rye. If you look up how many assassins have Catcher in the Rye, it was a trigger words. That book, and it's known today. If you go electronically purchase Catcher in the Rye, you will be put on the list, and for whatever reason. So you can go to Books A Million. Don't use your Books A Million club card on Catcher in the Rye. Anyways, but
the guy that shot John Lennon.
Yeah, exactly.
He was reading Catcher in the
yeah,
Rye.
I think,
And the guy that shot Reagan.
both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah. One of them calmly I think it was Lennon, but after he shot Lennon, he went over there to the park bench because it was in New York. Went over there to the park bench and started calmly reading Catcher in the Rye. So hey, whatever that's about.
I've read it. I thought it was a cool book.
Yeah. Did you?
I read it in the 9th grade.
I think I was supposed to, but I don't think it ever happened. So yeah, here are some V2K voice transmissions. All right. This is what will go on.
This is the fun stuff, guys. This is awesome.
No, yeah, not for like whoever's
not for whoever's getting tortured,
Yeah,
but
but,
it's definitely
so
interesting to look up all this stuff. You guys should look up this stuff. It's really neat.
You'll be sitting there, I guess, and the people doing this are called Perps, and I mean they have this whole terminology on these self-help websites and everything. I mean, it's crazy. Anyway, so the Perps. This is what they'll transmit into your head. So you'll be walking by somebody and they'll say, that guy needs to die or whatever. That guy needs to go walk off of that curb. That guy needs to go climb that building right there. And as me and Michael were discussing this earlier, and we'll see, but all these things are for the inevitable breakdown of your psyche and to just wear you out.
You completely doubt all of your judgment
Yeah.
and only listen to these voices.
So that guy needs to fill in the blank. Some V2K people said that they'd be watching a movie, and if they would be thinking like, "Wow, that was a good movie," and then automatically they'd get in their head, "Well, thank you." Like the actors were going, "Thank you for watching my movie," even though the actors aren't talking to them after you watch a movie. So you'd be walking down the street, somebody's coming at you, all of a sudden you hear, if they don't have their proper paperwork, they're against you. Okay, freak.
Show us the papers.
Today is Sunday, and you might be thinking of your schedule in your head. So today's Sunday, and automatically will say, today's Thursday. Just that back to making you question.
Am I not right?
Yeah, am I going to pull out the old iPhone or whatever? All right. Stop bothering that. And you might not even be bothering anything. Stop bothering that. The president doesn't think you're very healthy. I don't know if it's mentally.
I guess you need to change your whole lifestyle to figure out what's wrong, because your decisions aren't right.
Yeah, the president doesn't think you're healthy. People.
We know you're a patriot because you're with us.
People don't want to take you off of this, meaning that I guess they want you to keep doing the V2K thing. I don't know. David Bowie. David.
Not the cool knife guy from the.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Not the Bowie knife guy, David Bowie.
David Bowie.
The guy that just passed away recently.
The Labyrinth. And this is very interesting.
The Star of Labyrinth.
What did David Bowie say here recently?
Oh, right before he died.
Right before
on
he
his
died.
deathbed.
On Twitter and whatever.
Go back to that. I'll find that.
Anyways, yeah.
I'll find it on.
David Bowie. I mean, he's all up in this. So anyways, yeah, David Bowie wants this. David Bowie wants you to do this. David Bowie wants you to watch Labyrinth. So next,
Watch
Labyrinth. Next, you don't go well with that shirt. You don't go well with those pants. And I think it's very interesting. A lot of these are just generic phrases to make you think. I don't know. Just to question yourself. Get back to that.
Always question yourself.
Always.
Nothing you say can
just
be right.
break you down. Anyways, this is really sad. If, all these are. Anyways, this is what you need to do. Fill in the blank. This is what you need to do with those eggs. This is what you need to do with that box. You might be trying to fight it off, and all of a sudden they'll hear as if. And a lot of times these perps will team up on you. Is the way they make it sound. So one will say, "This guy's never gonna learn, is he?" And they'll tell you to look at something. They'll be like me and Michael. I was doing it to Michael on the drive to McDonald's. Like, look at that poster. Look at that sign. I mean, and naturally, if I say, "Hey, look at that,"
just to get you used to taking commands from it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a simple command that doesn't take you any effort, okay, I'll do that. It's no problem. Just all I got to do is move my head over.
Yeah.
You're getting accustomed to doing what it says.
It's just the customization of it. It's very creepy. You're going to learn respect. He says that they would communicate backwards. A lot of times the perps would talk to each other. So one of them might have said for you to go over there and order a hamburger. But he would really say, I didn't tell him to order that hamburger. They would talk backwards. So whatever they said previously, the other one would say, I didn't say him to do that. It's just all about the disinformation, the confusion. So they would give you breaks in this because the only thing a human really has is hope. And if a human thought that this is going to be in my head from now until kingdom come, well, that human would probably die just from lack of hope. And so they'd give you a break every once in a while. And this one guy, one of these guys that we were looking up, said that all of a sudden a female would come in, and usually with all the perps were males, but whenever they were going to start it back up, this female would come in and she would go, speak, and then the perps would start. Just all creepy, really creepy. Me and Michael were talking, but I said that's the second CIA trigger word, speak, that I've heard being used. The other one was, and I've tried to find this, I can't find it. I saw it on a documentary with the astronauts. And so in the first astronaut communications from, Houston to way out there, well, with those communications, there would be like a 10-second delay. And a lot of conspiracy theorists say that, you know, with the Cold War going on and everything else, that you would basically have astronauts in one room and Houston in the other room, you know, and but one of these astronauts, I guess, got lazy. But in this communication, you can hear a CIA handler go speak, and I guess they forgot to cut that out or something. But I thought that's pretty interesting. Yeah. Did you find what David Bowie said?
No, you're the one that told me. You don't remember.
You can't Google nothing, Michael.
You're the Google ninja, buddy. You are the Google ninja, not me.
Okay. Well, we'll get this. We know MRI wants to know what David Bowie said on his deathbed. It was something creepy though. It was something. I mean, it was like something about the CIA. I think. Wasn't it?
No, it was like something about it's not all what it seems, kind of thing. Okay. If I remember correctly.
Yeah. We'll on the next, maybe tomorrow.
Maybe I will do a little editing and I'll throw it on the end here.
Okay. Hey, we can do that. But yeah, we just wanted to do a quick little, you know, we might do some Sasquatch or Loch Ness Monster next. We'll know. But yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Try to find out what David Bowie's. So I think it was a final Twitter deal he put out. It wasn't it, or
it was something like that.
It's probably all been taken down now. Maybe that's right.
Yeah, it's like a 404 error.
Anyway, thank you so much, guys, for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on our next video. Please subscribe. Please like it. Watch them all. Just remember, follow the money if you want the answers. Follow that money.
And the power.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Till next time.